Hello, hello besties, and Happy New Year. Today we're gonna talk through 4 things I no longer spend money on and why. A few of you might already know, but I'm Vivian, your Rich BFF, and your favorite Wall Street girly, and I'd like to think I'm pretty good with money, but I haven't always been. And what's funny enough is that back when I didn't have much money, I was spending a lot more frivolously than I do now. Honestly, most of the things that I cut out, I could easily afford these days, but I just don't want to anymore. I became a millionaire at 27, and I had to go through some pretty big mindset shifts to get me here. So I'm gonna break down the 4 purchases that just don't make sense for me anymore and show how they helped save me quite a bit so that I could 1, spend on stuff that actually mattered to me, and 2, save and invest. So please like, comment, and subscribe to learn more about being good with your money. Let's get to it. First and foremost, specialty kitchen tools. I'll be honest with you. I've never been a Gordon Ramsay in the kitchen. Heck, one time I almost accidentally salmonella poisoned all of my college roommates by undercooking the chicken. It was an accident. But when the pandemic hit, things with my job slowed down. Restaurants were closed and delivery took over 2 hours to get. So, out of necessity, I began to spend a lot more time in the kitchen. I started with basic things like a pasta with red sauce, but eventually moved on to bacon-wrapped asparagus, red wine braised short rib, and Cajun-style mussels and andouille sausage. Yes, I know, impressed. And since I was cooking quite a bit more, I began to order some cool kitchen tools. Things like a garlic press, a lemon juicer, and even mini spatulas. But recently, I vowed to never buy special kitchen tools ever again. Reason being, while the tools may have saved me a tiny amount of time when prepping my meal, they added a lot of time when cleaning the dishes. Furthermore, a lot of these items had low utility. Most of the tools did a job that I could easily do with a knife or a wooden spoon or even just my hands. And the worst part, as soon as restaurants opened back up and my work picked up again, I totally gave up on cooking and those pricey tools have just sat collecting dust. So, no more specialty kitchen tools for me. Up next, full sheet sets. And I know what you're thinking. Ah yes, millennials destroying the sheet industry. I saw the headline too, and it sounded just as stupid then as it does right now. Growing up in a Chinese family, flat sheets weren't really something I used. And I've noticed now, traveling to places outside of North America, it doesn't seem like it's just a Chinese custom, but rather pretty much most countries outside of the US don't use flat sheets. I haven't seen them on my travels to Europe or Asia. And every time I would buy a new set of sheets, it'd come with 2 pillowcases, a flat sheet, a fitted sheet, and a duvet cover. But over time, I realized it was a lot cheaper to just piece together the things I needed and skip over what I didn't. Instead of buying the whole package, if I just wanted to replace my fitted sheet, I'd just buy that one piece. There's no reason to get the whole package. And this is a pretty good example of beauty packages as well. I don't need the eye cream, wrinkle serum, lip mask, toner, and scrub just because you're gonna offer me a slight discount to buy them all together. I'd be better off spending less and just getting the moisturizer I actually wanted to use. So this is all to say, this category of items are just things I don't actually need. 3, I know this is gonna sound weird, but the next category of things I no longer buy is brand name drugs. Not like that. I mean like Advil, Tylenol, cough medicine, you get the vibes. I'm categorizing this under stuff that's equally as good for significantly cheaper. My mom works in the pharmaceutical industry, and I don't know why it took her this long to educate me on this one, but medicine most of the time is just either water or binding materials to keep it all together. The only actual medicine-y part of medicine is the active ingredients. You can find this on the back of the box. It'll say active ingredients at the top and then show some words you can't pronounce and some percentages. Instead of buying brand name drugs, you can literally just look for store brand generics with the exact same active ingredient percentages and doses. The only difference is likely the packaging. They'll work the same, and this is one scenario where you really can't flex for having the brand name thing, so there's absolutely no reason to pay up. I get migraines pretty regularly, so unfortunately, this is a money-saving trick I've had to learn. Nowadays, the only time I buy brand name drugs is if I'm not feeling well and we're driving on the road and we have to stop at a gas station, which likely won't have as large of a selection as a drugstore or a grocery store. And last but not least, expensive swimsuits. File this one under stuff that I will likely be photographed in and probably won't hold up. Swimsuits get messy. They get covered in sunscreen, chlorine, salt water, and sometimes food. And I'm not gonna lie, I have been known to take a bikini pic or two, but I noticed after taking my photos, I felt less inclined to wear those swimsuits. Essentially, the same phenomenon of not wanting to be photographed in a dress twice was happening with swimsuits. But here's the issue. With the pricey dresses, I could at least resell them. Swimsuits are considered intimates, and it feels a little weird to try and resell those types of items. And often, after a few wears and washes, they'd be stretched out or a little sun bleached. I had a swimsuit that I spent $180 on get weird and saggy after 4 or 5 wears. To me, this was a category where quantity mattered more than quality since I was likely going to wear them pretty hard. So I just started buying budget swimsuits. They still look great, and now I have a bunch to choose from versus just a few pricey pieces that likely still weren't going to hold up that well. All in all, the important thing to remember here is that you can afford anything. You just can't afford everything. And cutting back on purchases that you don't feel add value to your life means you'll have more budget for the things that do, as well as saving and investing for the future. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe for more money, spending, and finance tips. See you, besties.